Philadelphia DA. I heard that it was a whole show about him. I only want to spend 10 minutes on this. So he said, F around and find out when it comes to causing chaos at the polls and not allowing people to be able to do what they want to do because we want a free and fair election. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Hey, Hoda, good morning. I'm in Montgomery County, which was critical to Joe Biden. It's a suburb of Philadelphia, critical to Joe Biden 4 years ago. It will likely be no less important this time around. People started showing up here before the polls opened at 7 a.m., and all of them likely know, because they've been told for weeks and even months, that whoever wins the state of Pennsylvania will likely win this election. Now, on top of the in-person vote today, the state's been receiving mail-in ballots, 1.8 million so far. They'll continue to receive those up until 8 p.m. tonight when the polls close. Now, Pennsylvania is one of a handful of states in the country that doesn't start counting those mail-in ballots until Election Day, which means by midnight tonight, they won't be done with them. And if this race is as close as people say it is, there might not be a call tonight. In fact, there might not be one for days. You may remember in 2020, there wasn't a call in Pennsylvania until Saturday morning. But election officials say they are confident. They have more people. They have more machines. They're hoping to get the majority of those mail-in ballots counted by Wednesday into Thursday morning. Now, there have already been accusations of cheating in Pennsylvania, some of those leveled by former President Donald Trump. It came after multiple counties, they found what they called suspicious voter registration. Not ballots, these are applications to vote. And counties say that they are going through thousands of them, but the fact that they've identified them is actually a sign, they say, that the system is working. There are also concerns about disruptions in the major cities in Pennsylvania. That includes Erie and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And the district attorney in Philadelphia had some very tough talk yesterday. Listen to what he had to say.
Anybody who thinks it's time to play militia, F around and find out. Anybody who thinks it's time to insult, to deride, to mistreat, to threaten people, F around and find out. We do have the cuffs, we do have the jail cells, we do have the Philly juries, and we have the state prisons. We're not playing. F around and find out.
Philadelphia may be the city of brotherly love, but that district attorney made it pretty clear yesterday they are not messing around.
And I like that guy. Let me actually get more of his actual speech before I comment on it, because I have some strong feelings about that also, all right? This is some of what he was saying and some of the additional context behind why he was saying it.
We don't have any deep, abiding fears or concerns. We don't have any reports. I want people to be reassured that when they get up tomorrow to go vote, if they have not voted already, that everybody in the city is working and has been working for months to make sure that there will be nothing tough about that experience and nothing to fear in that experience. But I also want to be clear, anybody who thinks it's time to play militia, F around and find out.
So I agree with him and I disagree with him, and I'm going to tell you why. I agree with him and I disagree with him, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he's a Philadelphia DA, right? The district attorney. But here's the problem. When he says, let me give you the good first. I don't think that there should be any kind of problem with people going to the polls and being able to cast their vote without a problem. I 100% agree that there shouldn't be no problems. There should be no voter intimidation. There should be no issues, no trouble. It's a zero-sum game. And I believe in that we as a people should be able to go and vote without any kind of problems. That should go without saying. The other side of this conversation, and why I don't really rock with what he's saying, is because they gotta throw these little digs in there, and they gotta say, we not gonna deal with no militias. We know where you're getting at, sir. We know where you're getting at, sir. We know that you just making an assumption that there's gonna be some kind of militia, and this is why I then believe that it is clout chasing. It becomes clout chasing. And I believe that this is absolutely, positively a planned speech and a planned statement to get him to go viral while at the same time demeaning Republicans. This is directly aimed at Republicans. And he will cloak it in the idea that he's saying we need a free and fair election and we don't want any problems at the polls and we prepared to make sure that we enforce the law when it comes to people being able to exercise their right to vote. But then they throw little things out there in order to A, make themselves go viral, and then B, also be able to try to throw digs at Republicans because we know what that means. And so what they're trying to assume is that you are not civil and you are not respectable people, and there's people extremes. And now let's be clear, there's always extremes on both sides of everything. And I don't believe in there being extremes on both sides. I don't believe in extremes on the liberal side. I don't believe in extremes on the right side, on the conservative side. Because an extreme of anything then becomes unpatriotic and it never ends well, okay? The problem with this is that he's all throwing digs on one side as though we don't experience intimidation every single day of our lives just for actually thinking differently than people that look like us.
Anybody who thinks it's time to insult, to deride, to mistreat, to threaten people, F around and find out. We do have the cuffs, we do have the jail cells, we do have the Philly juries, and we have the state prisons. So if you're going to try to turn an election into some form of coercion, if you're going to try to bully people, bully votes or voters, you're going to try to erase votes, you're going to try any of that nonsense, we're not playing. F around and find out. That's what we're going to do. I will tell you that we do have a concern. We hope it will not materialize. We've seen time and again when we're clear about our intentions, most of the bad stuff does not materialize, but we have a concern that there may be people either working in the polls or close to the polls who are going to bring frivolous, bogus challenges to voters. Why? Because this was done in Wisconsin. Basically, the way that works is when they know better, people start to claim Mrs. Jones isn't Mrs. Jones. They might not even know Mrs. Jones. Or they start to say, oh, that identification is not good enough. These are people who have potentially put themselves in the positions of some sort of official status, and they are liable then to try to get into a discussion with other officials. This is the bottom line. Anybody who thinks you're going to play those games in Philadelphia, you're going to do it in bad faith. I got no problem with doing it in good faith. But if you're going to do it in bad faith, there is an election court, there are judges, they have orders. And those orders are going to say, in essence, get out of the polling place. Anybody who doesn't get out, you're getting arrested. That's how it works, okay? So if any of you are on your little Slack communications back and forth saying, won't this be fun? You can have your fun in a jail cell.
So, it's already began. I think that this is going to be a long election, honestly. I don't believe that we're going to experience an election, and we're going to cover this all day. Not just here on the Millionaire Morning Show, but on the Anton Daniels channel and then on After Hours. I don't anticipate, because After Hours is probably going to end sometimes around 11, 12 o'clock at night. Eastern Standard Time, right? And I plan on being all in the studio and really giving y'all the game on what's going on the ground floor all day. I don't think that this is going to be a simple election at all. I think that it's going to take a long time to actually declare a winner. I pray to God that I'm wrong, because I would love to be able to react to Trump winning a victory, but I don't think that this is going to be very, very simple. We've already seen too much election interference. We see people being too nervous. When people get nervous, they start getting antsy. When they start getting antsy, they start becoming disrespectful. I do stand with the fact that there needs to be some order and civility at the polls, but I don't stand with the idea of assuming and insinuating that it's only going to come from one side. I don't know what happened over in Wisconsin. I'm curious to do a little bit of research. Maybe I'll pivot. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be a long week. I do. I don't think that this is, Jay Reed, I don't think that this is as tight of an election as you think that it is. I think that it's 100% red. I think that more people are going to grow red than ever before. I believe that you're wrong on that. I don't go by the polls. I don't go by none of that. Well, I did my own poll last night. It was 97% Trump, 3% Kamala Harris with women, men, and all of that. I'm on the streets, all of that. I've been to city. I was having conversations with people on the street in Atlanta just a little bit ago, a couple days ago. I don't think it's as tight as y'all think it is. Y'all think that it's going to be, oh my God, this is a tight election. I don't believe that. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And so I don't see that at all. I don't see it at all. I think Trump is going to absolutely sweep the blue wall. He's going to kill it in Michigan, Pennsylvania, all of that. I think he's taking Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, every single swing state that you can think of, Pittsburgh, everywhere where they campaigned at. I think he's sweeping everything.